Hey guys, it's Otto back with another video. So I make these videos because I want to help you think better, and I want you to leverage the strategies and first principle thinking that I've used over the last 6 years of running my business in order to help improve your current situation and the business that you've got right now. And this video is really no different. Okay, so the first thing I want to go through here is a little imaginary scenario. Okay, so what I want you to do is basically imagine that you are walking a tightrope, and on the one side of this tightrope is where you are now, perhaps, which is invisibility, and then on the other side of the tightrope is success. Okay, so on the one side it's the promise of success, and on the other side is the risk of invisibility. Okay, that's the challenge of selling a service. Okay, when you sell a service, maybe you're an agency owner or you sell consulting, consulting services, or maybe a coaching offer, whatever it might be. The challenge of selling a service is that you have to sell the invisible. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is show you how selling a service is essentially the sale of a promise. And I'm going to show you how you can leverage 5 core principles of selling the invisible in order to close more deals. Okay, so here's another analogy for you, and this analogy is one of the three-legged stool. Now, the three-legged stool itself is your service. Okay, so maybe you deliver Facebook ads, or you provide SEO services, or you have a short-form content agency, whatever it might be. What we're looking at here, analogy-wise, is the stool being your service, and each leg of the stool represents a unique quality of the service that you're delivering. Okay, so the first leg is speed, the second leg is quality, and the third leg is your price. Now, your service has to have these 3 core elements in order to stand out in the marketplace. And when selling a promise, or when selling a service, you're ultimately selling a promise that you'll deliver on these 3 core components. Okay, if one element wavers and we pull out one of the legs, like we pull out speed or quality or price, whatever it might be, the whole integrity of your service weakens. And in the case of one singular campaign, or maybe a project where you've wavered on speed or your quality, or you've not delivered it at the right price, you've gone over their budget, whatever it might be, you may get lucky and you may get away with this. Okay, your clients might not mind, but ultimately what it comes down to is that failing to deliver on your service is really like breaking a promise. Okay, and what you've got to remember is clients aren't just investing in your skills, but they're investing in the promise that you are practically a sturdy stool that they can rely on, and rely on time and time again, indefinitely into the future. So core principle number 1 in order to sell the invisible, okay, is to deliver on what you promise by making sure you guarantee speed, quality, and price. Okay, it's core principle number 1. Now, core principle number 2 is the fact that you have to start seeing mistakes as opportunities. And one thing to remember when you run an agency is that you will be making mistakes left, right, and center all the time. Okay, but what you've got to realize, importantly, is that mistakes in themselves are not fatal, and it's actually how you respond to those mistakes that really matters. Okay, so if you look at your mistakes as an opportunity to get better, you're going to help make your service more tangible, and you're going to do that by making sure the things that you deliver are getting improved based on the feedback you're getting from your clients. Okay, so here's a picture of me at my desk. This was 6 years ago. Okay, and at the time I could only afford a tiny little desk here. It's next to a sofa in a house I was renting. And with more and more clients that I brought on into my agency, my communication with those clients started to naturally lack. Okay, I hated, and I kind of grew to hate even more fervently doing client calls. And instead of taking control, I just kind of let it happen. I let the situation get worse. And what happened was that clients basically grew increasingly more annoyed that their requests weren't being responded to, which eventually led to them churning, despite us still actually getting really good results for them. Okay, so instead of thinking, oh, this is terrible and we're rubbish, and giving up at the time, we decided to improve our communications. We made sure that actually between the point that a client had actually signed an agreement, we closed them, to them being onboarded through onboarding and then us launching their first campaign, that we had at least 5 to 15 touch points communication-wise with them in order to keep them in the loop and keep them, happy that actually progress was going as planned, okay? So this made them feel like they were being looked after, and it really was a big mistake for us that we were able to identify early and actually use in order to get better, okay? So the mistake in itself wasn't fatal. It was an opportunity for us to get better, all right? So I've got a couple of questions for you now, all right? So have you ever looked up from your desk and felt like the last 4 to 8 weeks has just gone by in the snap of a finger? Or do you constantly find that you are logging into your computer, getting into emails, constantly, putting out fires, being reactive, working hand to mouth, and just tackling, I guess, everything head on as it lands in front of you? Well, I've been in this position many, many times in my business. And one thing that I realized and kind of came to learn is a consideration point around a biological defect that a lot of people suffer with, which is called myopia. And it's a term that I've kind of coined here, and applying it to the entrepreneur space and the agency space in the form of leader or leadership myopia. Okay, and what myopia basically refers to as a medical condition relating to physical short-sightedness. And you can see here on the left-hand side with myopia, nearsightedness / short-sightedness, the distance here between the focal point and the back of the eye is actually shorter than it is in the normal eye. People that have visual myopia can't actually see, further than anything that's immediately in front of them, okay? And we see this with entrepreneurs and agency owners all the time, okay? So all the guys in the acquisition partner program, a lot of the guys in the EEA as well, we see that they are basically fixated constantly on ground level issues, okay? They're stuck in the mud, unable to see past the current struggle. And, you might be sat there watching this now thinking, actually, this is where I'm at, okay? So maybe cash flow is tight for you right now. Maybe you're struggling to get clients, your current clients are churning, whatever problem it is that you're facing, that it might be, you're probably suffering from leader myopia, okay? And what this basically means is that you are stuck and you are struggling to escape being incredibly short-sighted. And you're not seeing the wider spreading influence your agency and you can actually have as a leader. And what this all comes down to is the concept of market share, where you have to start being aware of the reach of not only your business and the service that you're delivering, but as you and your influence as a leader, okay? So a key distinction and kind of pivotal shift in my mindset was a few years back, where I realized that in delivering my service, I was not just another third-party service provider, and to have longevity in this game, I actually had to see myself as more than that. So for me, what I realized was that I'm not just delivering a service to my clients, I'm actually inducing a transformation for them. And that's where my core value comes from. And that, in leveraging that, I was able to communicate really what our true value was to our clients and in effect, be able to close more clients a lot easier, okay? So in order to help sell your service better, you need to understand the broader impact of what you do, as this will basically get you to a point where your clients will see you more than just being the Facebook ads guy, okay? And they'll actually see you as somebody who can partner with them long-term, somebody who understands their deepest problems greatly, and being somebody really that can actually help solve, a myriad of problems wider and outside of just the core service that you're delivering, okay? So core principle number 4 comes down to the power of execution and personality. And if I could give you one word of advice here, it would be to execute passionately. Okay, so I'm going to hit you with a key quote now, so listen carefully. Marginal tactics executed passionately almost always outperform brilliant tactics executed marginally. Now, you have to imagine your brand as a superhero, and it sounds kind of like a boomer, like marketing term that you'd get at, a training event at work or whatever it might be. But in order to really sell the invisible effectively and put real sort of tangible material legs to the value that you deliver, you have to see your brand as offering a beacon of hope, okay, in a chaotic and competitive marketplace. So whatever you do, whatever interaction you have, whatever campaign you run, use all of those meetings, use all of those touch points as an opportunity to demonstrate your brand integrity and reinforce your promise. And really what it comes down to with selling the invisible and your service in this form is making your prospective clients realize that your brand is synonymous with delivering, okay? So moving on swiftly here, we need to understand a core principle, okay? And it's a principle that really underlies buying psychology and buying behavior. So the fifth and final principle here is about the selling process. Now, I speak with guys all the time who are trying to logistically perfect their sales process, okay? Maybe they're trying to leverage more emotion, or they're hinging on more of a consultative sale, whatever it might be. But one of the common truths that a lot of these guys fail to recognize is actually the reason why people buy. Now, you might think it's all about, convincing them that what you do is the best and that you can deliver on those three, sort of core components of what your service is, and that stool analogy and the tripod analogy. But what you need to realize is that buyers don't actually look to make the superior choice when they are making a purchasing decision. And the nuanced difference here is that instead of trying to make the superior choice, actually what buyers want to do is avoid looking like, or actually in physicality, making a bad choice. Now, in order to avoid making a bad choice, it's your job to help eliminate your prospective client's fear. Okay, so consider when you're trying to close your next client that the fact that you're not trying to just sell them or convince them, okay, you're actually having to be a guiding light to them that's going to provide a visual and a pathway and a predictable kind of sequential timeline through all of their potential doubts and problems that they're facing. Okay, so in every proposal and every pitch and meeting, you have to do what you can to reassure your clients. You have to show them proof of your success, use testimonials, use case studies, do whatever you can do to remove fear, which in turn will make their decision-making process a hell of a lot easier. Okay, so in summary, whether you have an agency or whether you're trying to get more coaching clients, whatever it might be, you have to realize that you're not just selling a service, okay? You're actually having to sell the invisible. And in order to sell the invisible successfully, you have to understand that selling comes down to how fearful the buyer is about whether you'll deliver on your promise or not, okay? So it's all about promise delivery. So in order for you to be seen as, somebody who can do that, and actually to be seen and be visible for the right reasons, what I recommend doing is leveraging these 5 core principles. Apply them to how you interact with not only your current clients, but your prospective clients that you're going into sales calls with, in the near future. And let me know how your sales calls go. Okay, so let me know how your close rates increase. Let me know how bringing more energy, how tackling all your clients' potential fears, and putting a more kind of tangible sensation to the service you provide. Let me know how that goes for you. Drop me a comment below. I'd be super interested to hear what your feedback is about this video and these 5 principles. And also, guys, most of you that watch these videos aren't subscribed, okay? So I'm going to be releasing a lot more insight like this. We're obviously sharing a lot of resources inside the community. We've got everybody enrolling at the moment. The last couple of weeks has been insane in terms of onboarding for the Ecom Email Accelerator and our flagship acquisition partner program. So if you're interested in either creating a refined business and having 3 to 5 ultra high ticket clients instead of running a traditional agency model, or equally you currently have an ecom agency and you need help with that, then send me a DM, send me an email. But in any case, subscribe to the channel and turn that bell on too, because every time I upload, I want you to be the first to get this information, get this knowledge, and put it into action. So until next time, guys, I hope everything is going well in your businesses and in your life. And like I say, subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.